Hey everyone, and welcome to Here We Bloom session 1.1. Yes, okay. So this session is exclusively only available on Patreon for now. And okay, let's get started. So today I really wanted to, but no, it's not even that I wanted to. Let me be completely real. Today I was guided to. It was really shown clearly to me that in today's video, what we need to talk about is attachment and flexibility. So this is Here We Bloom session 1.1, which means the first session has already been completed. It's also going to be on Patreon, but that one's also on my YouTube channel, Here We Bloom, Tarot and Spirituality. So if you have not watched that video, I would suggest that you go back and watch that one in its entirety, and then you will understand why we have these cards here. So okay, so we're mainly going to be working with the tarot in this video. I've already shuffled and cut the deck to save time. First card we have is the Five of Wands. So recently, when I've been seeing the Five of Wands, I've been watching these few particular YouTube tarot channels, and they have been moving me towards looking at the Five of Wands in a different perspective. And it's something that I look at now, and it's so clear to me. It's clear the difference between the Five of Wands and the Seven of Wands. When getting the Five of Wands, to me now I have a new understanding that this is me, like, if there is some type of opposition, if there is some type of conflict, if there are some type of attachments, anything that is causing Five of Wands energy, I'm in it just as much as other people are. Like, the difference between the Seven of Wands is that in the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, the traditional tarot deck that most tarot readers do learn from because of the symbolism, the rich symbolism and storytelling that is intricately a part of every single tarot card in that deck. So with the Seven of Wands, you see this person and it's really just them. There's no other person in that card. It's just that person on a higher ground, ready to defend itself from what's beneath him or what is outside of him. With the Five of Wands, to me now, this represents I'm not above it. I'm not on higher ground. I'm down here with the conflict, which means that the conflict is arising from within me instead of coming at me from other people. But another thing that I was being shown about the Five of Wands is that it's not really clearly defined if the Five of Wands in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Hold on. That sounds like my child. Okay, so yeah, with the Five of Wands, it's not clearly defined as to where this is a conflict or if this is training. And it could just be a bunch of boys, because there's boys on that picture. It could be just a bunch of individuals learning how to, use their wands, use their spiritual energy, use their spiritual essence, their spiritual identity. But then it could also be a conflict. It could be either or it could be both. As in, the Five of Wands can represent a group of like-minded individuals whom are having a spiritual experience that is highlighting their differences and the conflict and the contrast that and the chaos that happens from the fact that we are all different, we are all unique, and we all will conflict with each other in one way or another. It is something that is natural, and it is something that can be used to expand our perspective, expand our understanding, expand our compassion, expand our love. And it can also be something that can deliver us peace, because you can kind of relax into the understanding that, you know, it's not really about how other people see you, because there's always going to be likes and dislikes. You know, it's always going to be that conflicting energy that you will have with another person, because conflict, it brings growth. It's friction, you know. But at the same time, like, you can just be, because everybody can just be. Like, the relaxation, the peace that comes from knowing that you can just be, and that you can look at the Five of Wands within a certain perspective that gives you freedom that is available when you are flexible enough to bend around other people's opinions, or, you know, like, I hope that makes sense. If you love someone, if you care for someone, if you know, want to be in someone's life, and you come to the understanding that there are going to be differences, there are going to be conflicting energies that come with this person, because yin and yang, you know, like, you have to be able to bend around people. You have to be able to bend to their shape. Not in a way that you lose yourself and you start to form attachments, but in a way that is connecting. It is relatable. It's relatable. Like, being able to bend to someone's shape and kind of like fit into their world is, like, sometimes you do have to bend, though. Sometimes you do have to bend. And that can bring conflict. Because most of us want to grow, right? We want to expand. We want our relationships to feel expansive. But if we do live in a realm of duality, like if we do live in a world that is going to, if we have this human experience that's always going to be a dual nature, if a relationship is helping us to expand, it's also going to contract, because nature works with the rhythm. Nothing is ever expanding. In the body, when cells are just expanding and there is no release, there is no constriction, there is no contraction back, that forms cancer, that forms tumors, that forms enlargements in the body that it can't handle. It starts to block the flow. So life is an ebb and flow. You have to, even with the waves, like, imagine if the waves never push back, there would be no earth, like there would be no land, because there would be no back and forth. And we see what happens when it's pulled back too far, and then it's just, you know, Mother Nature and human behavior, human expression, nature expression, very symbolically, like very intricately connected, and it comes through symbols. But back to this Five of Wands. When you can move into the perspective that everybody is I don't want to say everybody because I do have beliefs that are coming up, but I guess, yeah, everybody. Yeah, everybody. Like, everybody is a reflection of the Creator. Everybody is a piece of the Creator, a divine spark of the Creator. I do, but yeah, no. If you can look at everybody in your life as a mirror, a reflection of you, and a chance to get to know you better, to kind of get deeper into yourself, into who you are, then growth, expansiveness, spiritual expansion can come from that. But you also have to be aware that there will be conflict, and there will be a contrasting energy that comes from that. And that is because that is how nature works. That is what keeps our human experience going. The back and forth, the ebb and flow, the growth in, I don't want to say death, but like the heartbeat. It's the heartbeat of life, the heartbeat of relationships, the heartbeat of relating. But it can get it's easy to get stuck in this. You don't want to be ever expanding, but you don't want to be ever contracting either. And that is what can form attachments. And it forms attachments now in the mental realm and in the emotional realm. Yeah. The Three of Cups and the Two of Swords. Like, and that's what can keep you moving forward. Because the Five of Wands, this is constriction. This is friction. This is the conflict. This is the tightening up. It's like everybody has to hold on to what gives them power. Like their source, their spiritual source. Everybody has to hold on tight to their wand. If not, you may lose it. And then with the attachment card, be careful with what like you are attached to. Like, what wand are you holding? What are you holding in your hands? Like, what is the motivating factors, the motivating energies within you? Like, yeah. What's the motive? Like, what are you motivated by? And why are you motivated by it? Because most of us, we're on a path to somewhere. We're trying to get to something. We have our desires. We have our dreams. We have our goals. We're trying to get there. And 10 times out of 10, pretty much, like, anywhere you're trying to get to, you have some type of motivating reason within you, some type of motivating reason that has probably come from a past experience as to why you're trying to get to where you're trying to go. We're all motivated by something, and sometimes we need to analyze that. But also, like, it's not to say that our desires are bad, but some can be like purely egotistical, purely arising from a lower vibration. So you gotta be careful with what you're holding and what your driving force is and the source of your driving force. Because you can be sourcing from a negative place, or you could be sourcing from a positive place. And with the Three of Cups and the Two of Swords, this is talking about how our emotional attachments to other people can keep us from moving forward, making decisions mentally. And how that looks for each of us is different. We all have different natal charts. We all perceive energy differently. And how that's going to look for you is, or becoming aware of how that looks for you, it just comes with the practice of awareness, the practice of being in the present moment, the practice of being self-aware, aware of your mind, aware of your emotional triggers, your emotional attachments. That comes with journaling, shadow work. Like, there is work to be done internally that lots and lots and lots of people have written about and taught about, who have made it their life's mission to teach these things to other people. So the information is out there, the resources are out there. If you want to release yourself from emotional attachments, if you want to become more self-aware, if you want to become more masterful within yourself, there are plenty of resources out there for the taking right now. One day I will have to share some of my favorites, but the real juice, the real magic, the real serendipitous moments come from when you yourself communicate with your source, whatever your higher source is, whatever you choose to connect to, and you ask for in my case, it would be the divine right information to be made aware to me, to be brought to me. And then you sit back, you set the intention, you have made the request, and now you just wait. It will be sent through a movie, through a TV show, through a book, through a life experience, through a song, through something. There are so many different ways in which the universe can communicate to us. You can get messages from all of creation. You just have to be there for it. And don't question it, especially if you ask for it. Like, if you ask for it and it comes to you, don't question it. That can be a downfall, a pitfall. Like, continuously needing confirmation because you are attached to, one way of thinking, one way of perceiving, and now you're taking in new information that challenges that perception that you once had. And that perception was valid, because once you had that perception, once you took on that perception of life, that was what was reflected back to you. But understanding that once you change your perception, you change your life. And it's not about invalidating the past perceptions that you had, but growing and becoming more expansive and taking on new perceptions. And if new information is canceling out old information, then you let it go. If new information, I am worthy, is canceling out I am unworthy, you let it go. No, we can have past emotional relationships with other people that we received information from. We received information about ourselves. We received information about other people. We received information about the world in general through these emotional experiences. Experiences with other people is an emotional experience, but then experience with life itself and just the life that you live, and that's an emotional experience. And then the experience with yourself is an emotional experience. And also, you know, your experience with the divine or lack thereof, that is an emotional experience. And within that emotion is information. So anything that you have relation to, including the things that you watch, the food that you eat, drinks that you drink, anything that you do that you have any type of relation to in this world and in the higher realms as well. It carries information, and all information is not truthful. All information is not valid, and all information shouldn't be, you know, contained within you. Some things have to be canceled out. And when you cancel out that old information, you're no longer in the Two of Swords energy. Now you only have one sword, and you know, you now have mental enlightenment, mental clarity, new mental instructions, because with new information comes new instructions on how to live. You got to make sure that the math is mathing. You can't go two directions at once, you know? Think about it. Even when you multitask, you do have to you limit the perceptual clarity that you would have if you were only doing one task at a time. The present awareness of being in one place versus being in so many other places doing so many things. You know how tiring that gets, and just how much more peaceful, and why mindfulness is such a rising aspect in society now, because it's needed. And also with the Two of Swords, stop busying yourself. Stop trying to distract yourself. If you feel like you need direction, that you need guidance, that you need more information, that you need clarity, you can't distract yourself with things outside of you. But it's the eyes within. Seeing within, seeing into yourself clearly. So you don't need to really distract yourself with something outside of you when you're trying to see yourself clearly and see where you need to go clearly. And you also as much as outside information, like reading books, watching YouTube videos, listening to podcasts, as much as those things help, when it comes to that inner process, you don't need anything outside of you, because everything is within you. Everything is within you. All the answers that you need, all the guidance, the information, the clarity, it comes from within. And other people can only guide you so far and show you so much and share with you, you know. But you have to take what resonates, what other people say. Like, if something really resonates with you, write it down, because you may not be able to, if something resonates and it brings up that feeling within you, it is important to take the time to write it down, because at a later time, you can take what was said, what resonates with you, and you can go really deep into that. You can really meditate on that phrase or whatever, that experience that resonated with you, and it can take you on a journey into yourself. But you got to be willing to do it. And you have to be willing to let new information that is in resonance with you and in resonance with who you want to be, to cancel out old information that isn't, because if not, you will form attachments. And it will keep you stuck in the physical realm. It will keep you from being able to move forward in the physical realm, because it's like you're giving out two different frequencies. And if you want your reality to resonate with the frequency, you need to really only be giving out this single frequency. I hope that makes sense. Like, I don't want to say single frequency and you think of like one single energetic like emotion. That's not what I mean. Like, you need to be giving out one harmonious frequency, because your frequency, your energy is going to be a harmony of many different chords, many different tones, and many different colors of life. That's what makes life exciting. You know, you don't want it to be just one frequency. Like, you don't want it to just be like, I don't know, like, I hope you get what I'm saying. Like, it's supposed to be a harmony with like contrasting tones and contrasting colors and full spectrum and all you can savor from life. Like, it's supposed to be like this prism of color. But we know what it's like when our frequency is not in harmony and the tones are canceling out each other, and it's giving this distorted, twisted, stressful, frustrating, annoying tone, and it reflects in life. So you want to make sure you're giving out a harmonious frequency and not something that is disharmonious, because then you're going to get a reality that is disharmonious, and we don't want that. So you have to choose who you're going to be and what harmonies of frequencies you're going to give out. You want it to be a harmony. If you're watching this, you want it to be a harmony. 9 times out of 10, you want it to be harmonious. You have the Strength card. So it takes strength to be able to do that, to keep the harmony, to keep the music going, to keep the flow going. Because when you set your harmony, when you set your tone for life, you are going to come into contact with people who their tone is disharmonious to yours. Like, you may have harmony. You may be exactly where you need to be within yourself and giving out the exact vibe that you need to give out to manifest the reality that you desire. But you may be coming into contact or even have past attachments, because 9 times out of 10, if they really coming into contact with you in a way that you can't get away from them, you probably have attachments. If you can't get away from them for whatever reason in the physical realm, you feel stuck, then you probably have attachments, and you're really sticking yourself. You're really gluing yourself to the situation. With the 5 of Wands, you're in it. You are an active participant. You are an active player. You have not risen above. You are on the same level that they are, some way, somehow. And that might be because you set your harmony, and then they come through with this disharmony, and you allow your harmony to get moved into a disharmonious frequency. And that's where flexibility comes from. Because sometimes you got to be able to bend around other people's frequencies. And how that looks, how that flexibility in life looks, is going to be different for everybody. There will be synchronicity. There will be synchronistic events that happen in your life that resonate within you. And if you are aware, if you are connected to yourself, connected to spirit, you will absolutely, positively catch those experiences. It's like thinking certain thoughts, like being in kind of like a mental story. Like you washing the dishes. Okay, so like say you washing the dishes and you thinking about something in particular, and then it's been about like 15 minutes of you washing the dishes. You get done, you go pick up your phone. It's 333. Now you can logically say, oh, I just happened to pick up my phone at 3:33. It doesn't mean anything. Or, oh my gosh, it's 33 minutes. I know I'm going to edit this, but it's not going to be 33 minutes in the video that y'all are seeing. But for me, I'm in 33 minutes in. Okay, so anyways, maybe that's why I said 333. Maybe I saw that. I don't know. But 333 is my number, so no, forget that. Anyways, I love 333. Anyways, so yeah, you pick up your phone and it's 333. You can say, oh, that means nothing, or you can make the connection between what you were just thinking, how you're feeling, what's going on within you, and you can look up the angel number or the numerology of the number 3 or the number 333. And if it resonates, if you get something from it, take it. Like, I know for me, it was like so hard to kind of relinquish that logical thinking, that Western mindset that things have to like be scientifically proved. And it's like, oh, it's scientifically proved. Anyways. We have the 9 of Pentacles, or the 9 of Coins. If you are strong enough, you will absolutely, positively get to that place where you see the inherent value about yourself. Because the value is always there, but it is a commitment to expressing that value and being in the frequency of that value, because there can be so many other energies that have been like placed within us, and then we see the subconscious, the subliminal symbols of it in reality that try to tell us that we're not valuable, that we need this, that we need that this is what makes a person valuable. Things that really are materialistic or are out of your control, or just have something to do with the physical, versus seeing the inherent value in yourself, and how the value that you are innately can absolutely be reflected back to you through your physical experience, through your human experience. If you are a spiritual being who knows how valuable you are and is willing to express that value and share it into the world, share it into the energetic field, of course you're going to get that energy back to you. You're going to get that value back to you in a way that is absolutely beneficial, clearly reflected, and completely beneficial, amazing, magical, wonderful. Like, you will experience that satisfaction of life. You will experience that satisfaction, that full satisfaction in every aspect. And it's not too good to be true because you worked for it. That's why the Strength card is here. And it's the 9 of coins. You don't build anything up in the physical realm without being strong enough to do it. The physical realm is really the most complex realm to work in, to do work in, because it is the densest, it is the most solid. Everything else, like, it's so much simpler in the spiritual realms. And then as you go down, it gets a little bit more complex. I would say that matters of the heart are way more complex and more challenging than matters of the mind. And then once you're in spirit, once you're in the higher realms, it's not really that many complexities. It's just, it is what it is. You make spirit complex when you try to approach it through an emotional place or a mental mindset. Like, when you try to push mind up into spirit, that's when you get complexities. That's when you get challenges, because mind cannot elevate to spirit's level because it's too dense. So if you're in your mind, if you're running around in your mind, you're not in your spirit. Being in spirit, in the place of spirit, in the seat of the soul, that is a completely different frequency, and it's so subtle. Okay, so the next card is the Queen of Cups. And with the Queen of Cups, she is the energy that you embody when it's time to move past the 6 of Cups. How do I say this? You need to be able to step back into a receptive place and be able to receive instructions from spirit. And the only way to be able to receive instructions from spirit is to be strong enough to, move from the physical to the emotional, to the mental, to the spirit. And that process is not that easy. It's not that easy. Like, being able to is this gonna make sense? Okay. Being able to emotionally overcome, you have to emotionally overcome your physical experience. What you are going through in the physical, you have to be able to emotionally overcome that. And then you have to be able to mentally overcome the emotional experiences that come from having to emotionally overcome your physical experience. Does that make sense? Like, does it? I hope so. And then it works in reverse too. Like, and then you have to be able to emotionally overcome the mental experience that you have. Like, the mental, like, it's a lot of overcoming. Okay? Like, it's a lot of working in the physical, in the spiritual, in the mental, in the emotional. It's a lot of back and forth and having to, like, if you get it, you get it, okay? Like, but you do that work. And you do it in every realm that you exist in every realm that you produce energy from in one way or another. And then when you've done that work, which it does take a lot of strength to do, you do have to move into, while doing that work, you have to be able to move into a Queen of Cups, be able to embody the Queen of Cups energy and able to nurture yourself out of your emotional past, which is indicated with the Six of Cups, because you have to understand that sometimes the emotional energy, the energy that you was given, the information that was given to you in the past, whether it was a long time ago or yesterday or 5 minutes ago, you just have to be able to nurture yourself out of the energy, especially the more painful energy. And if it's one thing about manifesting reality, is that it does have to come, it comes this way. Like, it comes from spirit. So when you're doing that work and you're putting in that inner work, that energy work, you will kind of jump back and forth between doing spiritual work, then emotional work, then mental work, then physical work, and then it's all this self-care that you have to do in different realms, and all this self-work you have to kind of go back and forth and doing. But when it comes to receiving and manifesting it down, it goes spirit, mind, emotions, physical, for a reason. It starts off as something that's a spark of light, and then it gets denser and denser and denser as it goes. And I really feel like, I guess I can't really speak for everybody, but I know in my life, in my experience, I really feel like it's when you get your emotions in it, like when your heart produces the energy. If you read any law of attraction book, like the power that the heart produces is so much stronger than the power of the mind. So once you have your heart pumping out and powering up this harmonious frequency that you want to manifest into your life, that's when you now have the power to fuel physical transformation. You now have the power to fuel the physical work.